Good morning.
Morning. Hello. 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 So, this morning, I want us to think about how do we say good morning? In Jamaica, wagwan, hey chica, hola. What's your morning greeting? So, happy morning, happy Monday. Welcome all. It's Wealthy Monday. It's our Monday morning call. So, please share in the comments. One of my new ones has been pleasant day rising. I don't know why that has been like one for me that I really love. So the mentors and I are here live with you, or maybe you're on the replay. Tasha is on a well deserved holiday as we go live with you. Mentors take over. You ready? Can you hop into the comments? Let's see what you're saying. Hey,
Yes.
hey, hey.
Good morning, Grace. Good morning, Auntie Shirley. Hey,
Shirley, hello.
April. Hey, Susan and Kathleen and CJ. Good morning, you guys.
Woo! So this morning, the mentors take over. And today we want to share about abundance and what are some of our practices. And of course, I would love to hear from you. So please share in the comments below. What are some of your practices to like embody abundance? What does that feel like for you? Abundance means experiences richness. How does that feel for you? What does wealth feel like for you? And of course, in our mind, Tasha's way, it came to me this morning. Why not look it up? So I went to Google and I looked it up. Abundance means experiencing wealth or richness, whatever you like to call it, in all aspects of life. Your relationships, health, joy, love, personal fulfillment. You define it the way you would like to as well. It's about experiencing wealth and experiences that are available to us and being grateful for them. I love this definition. For me, abundance is about all areas of my life. One of my secret sauces for my abundance is starting my day with meditation and devotion. So I spent about 90 minutes now. It started out with maybe like 5 or 10, but now about 90 minutes. And I feel like this kind of literally sets me up for my day ahead, that I get to fill my day with memorable moments. Now, a few persons may not necessarily be morning people, but I'm a morning person. So, yes, at 5 a.m., sometimes earlier, I'm an early bird. I start journaling, I do my meditation, my devotion, and I'm literally creating the day ahead, creating that wealth experience that I want in my life. Today, by the way, today's daily word is memorial. Like, in the United States, today's Memorial Day. And so I start out my day with that. And then I look at what it is I want to experience for that day. But for me, abundance really is all around my thoughts and how I want to feel for that day. And at 5 a.m., I've already written out what I'm doing for today. And I just want to hear from you as well. So please put it in the comments. I'm super excited today as well. You might see me a little more excited than even normal because guess what? I'm flying to the UK today, tonight. I'm so excited for it. So I hope some of you will be joining us. It's this Friday, but stay tuned because we'll talk about that in a little bit. Over to you, Carla. What does your abundance practice look like?
Okay, Nad, thank you. My abundance practice is not, it's first of all, I'm not really a morning person. So getting up and doing what you're doing comes and goes with me. Most times, my abundance practice comes when I get up. First of all, I get up and I give thanks that it's a new day. and I'm just loving my life. No matter what's going on, I still love my life. It's a way of gratitude for me, and it makes me feel abundant. The next thing I do is I'm a nature person in the sense of I love just looking at trees, looking at hills, looking at just God's goodness around me. So, and looking at how abundant that is. And whenever I feel like I may be in a rut or about to go into a rut, and it's that awareness of look at the abundance around me. I look at as you said before, how I'm feeling generates that abundance because I get to decide in that moment whether or not I am going to feel less than or I'm going to feel more than. And the more than feels a whole lot better than the less than. And when it comes to even just looking at my life plate, I look at, okay, gratitude is what keeps me feeling abundant because then I say, okay, if I focus on a lack of something I focus more on, okay, I want more of this thing in my life, that's abundance. So it's like back to now being aware, me deciding, and then I change how I'm feeling in that moment to feel abundant. So that's what abundance means for me. It's just it's always around me. It can be any time of the day for me. It can be while I'm taking a shower. It can be just sitting down in my car looking around, or just whatever, just looking for the thing this of how I want to feel, and just focusing more on that in that moment. And that's really what my how abundance works for me, and my go-to for feeling abundant is nature. Yeah,
I
it's
love that,
always
Carla.
been nature. Yeah.
Love that. It actually reminded me of an experience that I had when you talked about nature. And I was sitting in a room, but the window was open and there was a tree and there was some breeze. And I literally felt the leaves making its little noise and rustling. And
Hmm.
I just felt, wow, that's like money
Hmm.
coming at me. That
Yeah.
energy of nature. Oh, it just felt so
Yeah.
amazing. And we actually
Mhm.
have all that we need. Over to you, Lisa. What about you? How does it feel to you?
So, like as I was listening to everyone, I was like, isn't it amazing that we get to decide, right? We get to decide like what works best for us and what we need in that time. Because I was listening to you talk about journaling, Carla talking about her gratitude and going out in nature. I'm like, these are amazing elements that support us and things that we can do. And the amazing thing is like we get to decide. And so what feels abundant for me is visualization. I remember being a little girl and I loved Disney movies. I loved to use my imagination and like I would play like the Little Mermaid. I would play all of these things and I would close my eyes and I would as if I would visualize me being in these movies and these scenes. And as you know, for abundance, like that is a superpower to be able to like embody and immerse. And it's like the law of assumption, like you're assuming and embodying this beingness. And so I would have to say that that is my favorite abundance practice. Not only visualization, I'm going to share this too about the law of proximity. And that just talks about how when things are close together, they're assumed to be together. Right. And so when I want to level up, yes, I use visualization, but the other thing that I like to use to bring in abundance is the law of proximity. And so I started doing this probably, I don't know, probably about 5 years ago. And what that means, like what that looks like for me, like I said, law of proximity, you're in proximity to something. It's more likely on a social level that you all would be together. So they're assuming that you all are together. 4 or 5 years ago, I heard somebody say, if you hang out with 4 millionaires, you become the fifth. Or if you're hanging out with 5 millionaires, you become the sixth. And so I start aligning in the energy of the law of proximity when I am ready to level up. I mean, I do that anyway because I'm with you all, but then it becomes like a conscious decision. Does that make sense? It's
Mhm.
like, okay, where am I showing up in the city? Am I going to places that feel wealthy and abundant? Am I making choices that are wealthy and abundant, right? Because I want to be in the proximity of wealth. We have a place here in Louisville, Kentucky called Captain's Quarters. This is where the yachts are, okay? This is where this is where people go for fine dining. I'm like, okay, let's go spend some time in this space and in this energy, visualizing myself, which I do have friends that have boats, but also visualizing myself on these boats, right? Seeing myself on these boats, imagining my girlfriends. Sometimes I take my girlfriends with me, right? Because we're going to level up together. And and so I'm taking them with me and I'm like we're having conversations about having our own boat. We're having conversations, and this was just earlier this week when I met this amazing woman, having a conversation about owning a plane. Her husband's a pilot, by the way. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like how I've been saying that I want a private jet or I want access to a private hangar. And I end up attracting this woman into my experience, right? Law of proximity, whose husband is a pilot, and their goal within the next year is to purchase a private jet. I'm like, how in the world do you do this?
Mhm.
I sit, I imagine, and I visualize that I have wealthy friends, and not only imagining this, deciding that it's normal. Like this is just the way it is. Like Coach Nas likes to go shop. She goes to Tiffany
Yeah.
and just picks up jewelry, does not care about it. Coach Carla has a house in Jamaica, but every time we get on a call with her, she's somewhere in the world other than Jamaica, like traveling, living her best life. Like this has become normal for me, like normalizing the wealth and etc. through visualization and allowing it to show up in my life. So that is my favorite thing to do.
Wow. So Lisa, so
And
much
that's
came
what
up.
I'm
So much came up for what while you were sharing. First of all, I love the Disney that when you spoke about the
Mhm.
Disney movies, etc., and just seeing yourself in it and having those kinds of experiences and creating. That's what we're doing when we're journaling. We're
mm-hmm.
literally creating the life that we want. We
Mm-hmm.
are literally writing our own movie script.
Yes.
And guess what? I am the main character. You are the
Absolutely.
main character. We get to decide, we get
Mhm.
to choose. That's our superpower. How
Yes.
do I want to experience this day? We
Mhm.
get to decide that.
Mhm.
Right.
And so if we think about what does abundance look like for me, it's going to be different for each and every one of us.
Mm-hmm.
But each of us gets to decide what that looks like and to
Absolutely.
experience it and to embody it. Oh, listen,
Yeah.
as Lisa started talking about even the shopping, I was thinking about like what I haven't gotten yet. Like, I got a list. I got a list.
But even then,
Oh.
Nat, as you were saying, deciding how you want to feel, because you can be in any situation and have the most abundant experience,
Mm-hmm.
because your eyes, your lens, everything changes when you make the decision that I'm going to view this moment, this experience in this abundance feeling. And it really just works, because you could have on some rags, but you're having the most amazing abundant time, because it's how you feel. It's how you feel. It's how you show up. You show up taller. You show up more confident. You just show up with a better attitude. You're smiling. You're saying, okay, it doesn't matter what's going on around me. I'm abundant. Abundance is always around me in whatever form it needs to show up. Just looking at the sky is abundant. Looking
Yeah.
at clouds, it's abundant.
Right.
It's and breathing, that's abundant. If you pay attention to that, you have you I can hold my breath, breathe, pull in everything. I still Lisa still gets to breathe, Nadine still gets to breathe, all of you still get to breathe. It's unlimited, it's infinite. That's what abundance is.
Yes. And
Mm.
it's I love that it's personalized for us. I love that. You all, we have a special guest in the comment that's on vacay. Hi, Tasha Bats.
Hey, Tash. You know, I hope you're enjoying your holiday. I'll be joining you this week. I can't believe it's here already. I'm so excited. But something came up for me, Carla, when you just mentioned about just being in that experience, no
Mhm.
matter what it is that you have on or what you're driving. And I'll never forget this gentleman. Actually, Tasha and I both knew him. And he spoke about the fact that he always drove a Mercedes, even when he was driving his Ford.
Mhm.
Mm,
Always, because that's
mm,
the thought that he had, and that was the experience that he wanted until he was
Mhm.
driving his Mercedes.
Mhm.
And so it's all about that, your thoughts and just
Mhm.
practicing this abundant lifestyle. What is, and that knowing that everything you want is literally within your hands reach. And I love that example you gave, Lisa, that if you hang around 4, 5, 6, whatever number millionaires, you'll be the next one.
mhm.
You'll be the next one. So,
Yeah.
who is going to join us this Friday, June 1st in London?
Mm,
I'd love for you to join us. So, in the comments, I want you to type expansion. See it there? Type expansion, and you'll get a link because we really want to hear from you. We want to see you. We want to have a drink together. It could be tea, it could be wine. Let's see one another together.
yeah.
Over to you, Lisa.
All right, guys. So, little bit of adjustment there. If you type expansion in the comment, the link that you'll receive today is actually going to take you to a survey, and um, that survey is for you to give us some feedback on what it is you want. And so, what you want to see, what you like, whether it's a master class, whether it is well, we're if you're a wealthy or you're in the Wealth Ascension Collective, we're going to see you all in November anyway. So the in-person events, like, I can't wait for it, because when we get together, it is a wealthy, prosperous, fun time. So if you type the word expansion, you'll receive a link in your DM to the survey. If you have questions that you want answered, then please make sure that, like, there's a subject that you want to talk about, please fill out that survey. You are going to get it in your inbox. I know there was a woman that had posed a question one time, and she was like, what do I do if I win the lottery? Like, I've never had this amount of money before. How, and like, a lot of times they talk about people win the lottery, and then all of a sudden, like, you have all these friends, all these new family members, like, you don't know what to do with it. And so you spend it, spend it, spend it. So the lady was like, okay, what is it that I can do? Can you teach me how to be wealthy, right? Take this money, grow it, have boundaries, right? So that I can, so that I'm not one of those statistics whose money's gone within the first 5 years and then they're back doing X, Y, and Z. So there, people ask for some real, like, really great advice. So if you type the word expansion, you will receive a link in your Facebook Messenger that allows you to give some feedback. There's also a question on there. You can, we may ask you, like, what do you think about Tasha? Like, is there anything else you want to communicate? And you have the opportunity to share all of that when you type expansion in the comments. Okay. All right.
Thank you for that, Lisa.
You're welcome.
And the additional information.
Mhm.
So This has been a wonderful morning. Is there anything else, Carla, before we go?
No, no, you can wrap up.
Awesome. Lisa, Carla, and all of you, thank you for being with us today. Really grateful to have you with us today. One love from my heart to yours.
Mm. Well,